Hi everyone, welcome to week 6. For many of you, we are getting somewhat close to finishing your BSW degree. We're a third of the way through the semester, and good work. I'm hoping to get your papers back to you all this week, so look for those. Our topic for this week is merging self and profession. So in this topic, we're really looking at the integration of professional and personal aspects of social work. Of course, it's clear that social work is really a personal field. It involves utilizing ourselves as instruments and tools and working with other humans. It's also clear that our own personal beliefs and values and our personal well-being is instrumental to doing this work. This week's chapter is called Merging Self and Profession, and it's exactly the merging that can be especially difficult for us. So creating a distinction between our personal and professional lives in order to stay healthy and ensuring that we do not give 100% in one area in our life, because that would mean we would neglect all the other pieces of who we are, our hobbies, our families, the things that help keep us well and functioning. So finding this balance and creating a practice that works for us is an interesting topic for conversation and debate amongst us in our forum this week. So for this week, read Chapter 16, which focuses on specific skills and strategies necessary for a meaningful, effective, and sustainable career in social work. I hope you've heard the term self-care so much in your academic career that it comes as second nature. It's also, a real buzzword right now, so I'm sure you guys have heard plenty about it. But we know that it's so much more than just a concept to social workers. It's something we talk about and we know it's critical, but translating it into practice is so much more challenging. We might say, I'm going to take time off when all my clients are settled in, or I'm going to leave early today, but I'll try to check in with my work emails at home just in case. So regular and intentional implementation is often tricky, and yet we have an ethical responsibility to prioritize self-care and understand the signs and symptoms of burnout, compassion fatigue, and secondary trauma. So on a personal level, I am a therapist who does a lot of cognitive behavioral therapy with clients, and a lot of what I work on with them is talking about these things, like how can you maintain a meaningful routine for yourself so that you're taking care of yourself. How can you get a full night's sleep, or eat meals at a regular time every day, or give yourself time and schedule in time to do the things that help you relax and feel good. And it's funny because those are things that I preach, but in practice it can be more challenging to implement for yourself. I think it's both in an effort to help maintain balance for us, but also how can we expect clients to do these things if we're not doing them ourselves, if we're not able to model this? So that's my soapbox. But in addition to reading the chapter, I also want you to watch the TED Talk. It's 19 minutes. It's posted below. It's by Laura Vandernoot-Lipsky, who's the author of the book Trauma Stewardship. Lipsky is a social worker herself, and she talks about trauma exposure response, which she labels as external trauma that becomes our internal reality. And it has the power to transform the way we view and feel the world around us. She highlights that in social work, we bear witness to trauma, suffering, and hardship on a daily basis, and the toll this work can take on ourselves, our relationships, on our agencies, and also on those we serve. So what I like about the talk and the approach is that she doesn't just remind people how important it is to take a walk or read a book or go on vacation, all things that are important, but she promotes a mindfulness approach and invites us to create a routine of being more present in our personal and professional work, and how that can be a form of self-care in itself. So she puts out this idea of how we might feel different if we're truly present and grounded in our work and aware and tune in with our body and emotions while doing it, and how that might keep us from feeling either overwhelmed or overcome by the pain and suffering of others, or detached and cold and shut down. I think it's a really interesting concept, and one that I'd like to discuss more and hear your thoughts and ideas and experiences with. I would also like to hear other strategies you've tried. I remember people often talk about, in different classes, how self-care can be challenging for them, and that you do regularly bear witness to your clients' stories, and sometimes trauma can be overwhelming. So for this week, I'm hoping we can have a rich discussion and hear from each of you about what you need to do to take care of yourself, what challenges you've run into, what strategies are most successful for you. My hope is that we can bring this topic from conceptual into more a lived practice. So please be active in the forums this week. I think this is an area where you guys really will be a good support to one another. I can share some personal things in terms of self-care for me and what helps me be most present for clients. I think that idea of really reflecting on physical responses I have. So if I am working with someone and noticing before a session I start to feel my heart rate increase, that's a pretty good sign for me. Another is stomach upset. I'm that person. If I start to have those feelings, I take a moment and step back and allow myself the time to really think through what it is that might be creating this response. I might do some breathing. I might do some allowing myself to think in detail about a location in my life that I really love, that gives me a calm feeling. Think about all the details of that place. And those things really help me be present in the moment with clients, and really being able to identify what my own physical cues to stress are. So I would invite you this week to reflect on those things yourself and come back to the group and give some feedback on what works for you, allowing you to stay present and then also taking care of yourself. All right. Thanks, guys.